Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Katie.the.cosmic.sailor, and I help guide those on a journey of self-discovery. So today we are going to be getting messages from the mermaids. So this was actually a request. I posted on my community tab about 4 days ago, and Tarot and Tantra with Justine suggested maybe a message from the mermaids, she said, from the mermaids to splash around and make healthy messes. So I'm going to just do a general messages from the mermaids. Whatever they need to say will come through. We are going to start with some water scrying, and then we're going to look at the oracle cards and the tarot cards. So that is the reading for today. We have 4 groups to choose from. So the first group is going to be this pile with this shell. And the second group is this stack of cards with this shell. And the third group is this stack of cards with this shell. And the fourth group is this stack of cards with this shell. So that is the reading for today. Feel out whichever group you feel drawn to the most. That's most likely your pile. If you feel drawn to more than one group, that's totally okay. That just means there's more than one message for you here today. And I will have the timestamps linked in the description box below. That way you can click straight to your reading. And I will see you in your pile. Bye. Hello. If you chose pile number 1 with this shell, this is your reading. We're going to go ahead and do your water scrying first. I'm already receiving a couple of messages though. I feel like you guys could be very clairaudient, and I feel like you could receive messages from spirit through sound. That's something that's coming up very strongly with your group. And I feel like you guys also have very powerful voices, very strong voices. And I feel like you could be very good public speakers, or just you have a really beautiful sounding voice. It's almost like people really just want to listen to the sound of your voice. We're going to go ahead and get in, and I've already cleansed the bowl. And I did cleanse the water as well. So let's go ahead and get in. The first message that I was receiving, something about a leaky faucet or a leaky tap. I don't know if you actually have this in your house. I feel like this could also have to do with some sort of energy leak or energy drain. That's something that the mermaids are highlighting specifically. So you could maybe have people around you who are really draining your energy. And I feel like they really want you to look into this. And really, I'm seeing somebody like patching up a sink. So I feel like once you get this like energy leak patched up, I feel like you'll be more revitalized. And I just heard a ding. I feel like you'll have more energy. They're highlighting if you feel like you've been drained and you don't know why. They're asking you to look to maybe the people, or also a job is something that's coming up. If there's something in your connections with people or your job that's really draining your energy, and it's almost like running you on low. And they're also highlighting me to tell you there was something that I heard on a podcast about how we have 3 main resources. We have time, money, and energy. And at the beginning of the day, those are all very full. And when your energy resources are drained, it was in the podcast, they were mentioning how when your energy resources are drained, you are the closest to your Myers-Briggs personality type when you feel like you have no money, no time, or no energy. I don't know why they're prompting me to share that with you. And I'm seeing a lighthouse. I feel like when I see the lighthouse, I'm almost being encouraged to tell you to keep faith, keep hope. Don't give up hope. Because to me, the lighthouse is almost like a symbol of like finding your way to the shore after a storm. And I feel like your spirit guides are saying you're almost, it's like you're almost at the end of the tunnel. And it's like the lighthouse is approaching. The light at the end of the tunnel. And I just heard another ding for confirmation. I'm also feeling this really strong urge to almost like touch this water, but it's like something is stopping me. So I feel like your spirit guides are really asking you, when you feel like you want to do something, they're really encouraging you to do it. The mermaids as well, and the mermaids are really all about play, having fun, and I feel like you could be holding yourself back from maybe connecting with people or playing with people or having fun, letting loose. I feel like the mermaids really want you to open up a little bit more. And I'm seeing somebody trying to make somebody else laugh, but it's almost like that person that's not laughing, they want to, but something inside of them is saying like, no, you have to be serious. You have to take things seriously. I feel like this could be some sort of shift that you're going through where you're being encouraged to lighten up. I feel like you're very connected to spirit. I feel like you receive a lot of signs and synchronicities. I'm seeing a manta ray. I feel like your ancestors are very connected to you as well, because when I think of the manta ray, I'm thinking of the grandmother in Moana. And I think she tells Moana something like, you know who you are. Maybe looking up that song, listening to that song. I feel like the mermaids are encouraging you to listen to that song, You Know Who You Are from Moana. And I'm also seeing a coral reef. I feel like the coral reef is significant for community, because inside a coral reef lives a whole ecosystem. I'm getting a lot of water synchronicity. I mean, we are doing water scrying, but I feel like you guys are very connected to water. You could have a lot of water in your chart. But I feel like there's a community around you who may be trying to reach out to you, or you may be feeling called to reach out to them. I feel like the mermaids are encouraging this. I feel like they're also, if you've ever heard of Ujjayi breath or ocean breathing, I feel like this could be very calming and grounding for you as well. It's where you make your breath sound almost like Darth Vader. When you breathe in, you like almost like not block, but like push your tongue up against the back of your throat to create that sound when you breathe in, and breathe out like. And maybe doing a couple of cycles of those and really listening to the sound of your breath. I feel like that's that message of like clairaudience is coming through again. I feel like sound could be very grounding for you. Maybe listening to the sounds of nature, the sound of ocean, the ocean specifically, is something that's coming through. I feel like the mermaids just really want you to enjoy life and have fun and play. And they're saying, remember to have fun. I feel like there could have been something specifically. Maybe you just were like the oldest child or felt like you had to carry a lot of responsibility in life. I feel like your spirit guides and the mermaids are saying you are safe, and it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to have fun. I feel like I'm hearing that song, Fly on the Wall by Miley Cyrus. That song could maybe have been something that you listened to, or your spirit guides, the mermaids, could be encouraging you to listen to it. We're going to go ahead and look at your oracle cards, and then we'll get into your tarot. I also feel the song Ocean Eyes by Billie Eilish is coming through as well. Let's go ahead and look at your oracle cards. So we have Mirror. Treat your body like the palace it is, with the number 4. And we have this person listening to music and dancing. I feel like this is something that maybe you feel like you want to do, but you stop yourself from. If not, the mermaids are really just encouraging you to dance, release that energy in your body. And then we have Mural. Be your own first priority, with the number 25. That could be significant. I'm going to put this up here. So with these first 2 cards, and we have this person, it almost looks like they're walking on water. I feel like when you release this energy, this like built up energy, by dancing, by moving your body, by listening to lighthearted, high vibrational music that makes you dance, that makes you laugh, it'll bring almost this feeling of like you could walk on water. And with this be your own first priority, I feel it was that message that I was getting, like you could have been like the older child, or maybe feel like you have a responsibility to like help people or something like this. You could maybe be a light worker as well. But your spirit guides and the mermaids are saying your state of consciousness is the most important. And it's important for you to be in this lighthearted, happy energy, because it's like when you get your energy right, and when you're in the right energy, you can attract anything. And I feel like you're a very powerful manifester, but your manifestation may be blocked because you may be taking it too seriously, is what the mermaids are saying. Let's see what else we have. We have big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas, and I just saw 1111 on the clock timer, so that could be a number that you're seeing. Visionary. I feel like you're a very creative type. Like, I feel like you have a lot of creative energy, you could have a lot of ideas, a lot of inspiration. The mermaids are asking you to act on those ideas. Act on that inspiration. You could resonate with maybe being an artist. This mural here is standing out very strongly. Maybe you have like a mural that you've painted, or you've been thinking about painting. That's something that's coming through. Big picture thinking. Interesting. And we have the Sun Dancers. Oh, I love that you guys got this. Joyful activity, celebration of life, abundance. And we have the imagery of a fairy here, almost like dancing again. It's that message of dancing. I feel like somatic movement, moving your body, dancing, could be something that really helps you release old stagnant energy. And it's almost like really helps lift your vibration as well. When you listen to these happy songs, it almost helps you like get out of your head and not focus so much on what you can't do, but what you can do. And I feel like that it's very common in a lot of creatives where we could be perfectionists, we could really get in our own heads and think, you know, this isn't right, I can't put it out. But when we dance and when we move our body, there is no like perfection to it. You know, we move how our body feels like moving. And with the sun dancers here, joyful activity, this is all about being in the light, having fun, remembering to play, remembering to be grateful, remembering to celebrate the small wins. And I feel like this is something that may have been lacking in your life. The mermaids are really encouraging you to just have fun and play and be joyful. I feel like connecting with your inner child would be very helpful and very healing for you as well. And then we have Leo, new moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. I'm going to put that right up here. Right in the middle. I feel like this could be a mantra for you. And I feel like the mermaids are really highlighting your self-confidence. And they're calling me to tell you that when people are confident, it's not because they don't have any fear at all. They feel the fear and they do it anyway. Really interesting. New moon in Leo. I feel like this has to do with your self-esteem as well. I feel like practicing self-love affirmations would be very helpful for you, and I feel like this is something that the mermaids are also encouraging you to do. And it's interesting because I feel like a lot of people may have a very high regard for you, and I feel like a lot of people can see your beautiful traits inside and out. And we have that message of like the palace again. It's like your body is a palace. And your spirit guides, the mermaids, are really urging you to see this in yourself. Actually, I want to read the new moon in Leo out of the book for you. See what it says. So this could also mean that you're going through a glow up. I just saw that just skimming, but I'm going to go ahead and read it for you. Here, let me hold it up that way you can see it, because this card's in the middle of your reading. It says, this card heralds the start of a new cycle for you, when you're going to look and feel more gorgeous, more in the spotlight, more like you have something worth showing off. If you want someone's attention, this card says it's coming. However, this may not happen all by itself. You have to be willing to do your bit. That means being proud of who you are and what you have to offer. Think of yourself as the king or queen of the jungle and carry yourself accordingly. This card is also a great omen if you're asking about a creative project you're working on. Alternatively, it can herald good news or a new start for your children. Attune to the moon, make time to have fun. And then it says additional meanings for this card. It's time for you to show the world what you've got, shine your light, have some pride, spoil yourself, you've earned it, you've turned someone's head. Yeah, I feel like that really just sums up really what the mermaids are trying to tell you. We're going to go ahead and get some tarot cards for you. But I love that. The mermaids really want you to be the bold, confident, sexy, beautiful, amazing human being that you are. And they're saying, like, you will have a spotlight on you, but you have to do your bit as well. Being proud of who you are. And that's a really good sign with this big picture thinking here. If you've been working on a creative project, the mermaids are saying that you will see success in this creative project as well. Let's go ahead and get your tarot cards. Spirit guides of love and light, please connect me to pile number 1. What messages do the mermaids have for pile number 1? I feel like that message of spoil yourself is coming through very strongly. If you've been thinking about buying yourself something, The mermaids are really encouraging this of you. I'm seeing specifically clothing, if you've been thinking about like an outfit, and they're also drawing me to maybe Pinterest. If you have something on Pinterest, or if you have a Pinterest and there's an outfit on there that you've been thinking about buying, the mermaids are really encouraging you to do it. Do it. Do it. Spirit guides of love and light, please get some messages from the mermaids for pile number 1. What do the mermaids want to say to pile number 1, please? And I'm seeing somebody do like hip circling movements, and the inside our hip, like our pelvic bowl, is where our sacral chakra is. And our sacral chakra is all about creativity. And when you move your pelvis in this like hip circle almost type of way, it helps unblock like creative blocks. I feel like that's significant for somebody. What would the mermaids like to say to pile number 1? I like that card. What would the mermaids like to say? Pile number 1. Okay, so we had quite a bit of cards fall. We'll take all of them. The first card that flipped out was the Chariot in reverse. So the Chariot is all about forward movement, forward momentum. And with it coming out in reverse, I feel like you may be slow to start projects. The mermaids are still encouraging you to start those projects. Do what it is that your heart is calling you to do. With the Chariot in reverse, I'm not seeing don't go forward. I feel like that can be a lot of times that message that'll come through. I feel like the message is almost like slow and steady, and victory will be yours. Slow and steady wins the race. Then what else did we have? We had the King of Cups. What do the mermaids want to say? Move these down a little bit. We have the Two of Swords. So we have the Moon in Libra, Six of Pentacles, Three of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. And that imagery of the fox here, the fox is all about being playful. It's also a very creative energy, a very inspiring energy, and it also talks about community and friends and almost like soulmate connections as well. I believe the fox mates for life, so it only has one partner. But I feel like something that the mermaids are really asking you is almost like to give without expecting anything in return. Especially if you're a creative type, this like expecting something to be returned to you could be blocking you. And I'm also getting this message. I feel like your spirit guides and the mermaids are really asking you to recognize the divine in everybody else. The divine that exists within you also exists within everybody else. And they're calling me to tell you a story. I can't remember exactly like the name of the tale, but has something to do with how angels or spirit guides usually come as people who need help, who need assistance. And it's like when you help somebody, it's almost like they then want to grant you a wish. I don't know what this is about, but it's like when you help somebody in need, it's almost like you receive back tenfold, is what they're saying. And with the Three of Wands coming out in reverse, if there's a project that you're waiting to take off, your spirit guides are saying it will come in divine timing. And I know a lot of times when we hear divine timing, it's like, oh, I don't want to wait, you know, when will this happen? But it's almost like a test of faith. You're being asked to keep your faith, keep your hope, and trust that the universe is always on your side. Trust that everything is working out for you. And your spirit guides, the mermaids, are like smiling and laughing, because it's like when we trust and we have faith, it's like we build that strength within. And it's almost like we're building that strength when we don't see what we want coming to us. It's like we're building resilience. And we're becoming stronger. I feel like the mermaids are also asking you to get in touch with your emotions. And it's interesting because they're saying your head and your heart are not meant to be in battle, but they're meant to be in alignment. So with the Two of Swords coming next to the King of Cups, I feel like you may have conflicts where you think, you know, my head wants this, but my heart wants this. Your spirit guides are really asking you and the mermaids to come into alignment with your head and your heart. I feel like yoga would be very helpful. And they're calling me to tell you, in yoga, we bow our head intelligence to our body intelligence. And they're also calling me to tell you, you know, in yoga, a lot of times our head wants to give up before our body does. Really interesting that that's coming through, because I feel like you may have doubts that what you're creating is worth it, or if you're going to see rewards or reap success. I feel like you will, but it's almost like a slow process, because you're meant to build patience. You're meant to become resilient, is something that's coming through. Really interesting. And we have Cancer here with the Chariot. Pisces and Scorpio as well with the King of Cups. Really interesting. And with the Chariot in reversed, I feel like the mermaids are really asking you to be your own best friend. And that was something that came through with this card, you know, be your first priority. I feel like that's something really significant for you, that maybe you need to hear, that the mermaids are really bringing through with this message twice. They're really encouraging you to be your first priority, be your best friend. So if you have thoughts or something that says, you know, I can't, really letting those thoughts pass and telling yourself, I can. And it's almost like being your own cheerleader as well is something that's coming through. And I feel like they're really calling me to tell you, a lot of times on a creative journey or on a creative path, you are the only person who knows what you want to create. And so maybe you have this idea that somebody is going to help me, or I need help on something. Your spirit guides are saying, you've got this. You've got this. Of course, if you need help, don't forget to ask for help, but don't, you know, give your power away thinking that you have to ask for help, that you can't do this, because your spirit guides are saying, you've got this. And I just saw 2552 on the clock timer, so that could be significant. Really interesting. I feel like you could receive a lot of inspiration or ideas in meditation, or you may receive some sort of epiphany or realization here soon, is something that the mermaids are highlighting me toward. Really interesting. And actually, I want to tell you, I feel like you could have a community of people out there who want to connect with you, or a soul tribe or something like that who may reach out or try to connect with you. Feeling really called. There was a TikTok that I saw, and it talked about the deer and how it used to be a belief that deer had alpha. They had an alpha deer, one deer who decided, I think it was like a buck or something, that decided when the group would go where. But upon doing more research, they realized that that wasn't actually the case, that the whole deer, the whole herd, would look in certain directions, whether that be to the watering hole, whether that be to get food, whether that be to go to a certain river or something. They would all look in certain directions, and whichever direction most of the group members were looking in, that's the way the leader would go. So I feel like with this message coming through, it's almost like your spirit guides, the mermaids, are saying to be the leader in your own life. Really interesting. This Two of Swords is really standing out to me. I feel like if you feel times of indecision, your spirit guides and the mermaids are really asking you to maybe sit in quiet contemplation or sit in meditation. And I feel like this could be very helpful when it comes to calming your thoughts. They're also saying calming your anxiety as well. Breath work is also really powerful for that. But I feel like that's all I have for you. If you enjoyed this reading, please give me a like, please comment down below, and please subscribe to the channel. It really does help my channel grow, and we would love to have you be a part of the Sailor family as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you later. Bye! Hello! If you chose pile number 2 with this seashell, this is your reading. We are going to be looking at messages from the mermaids. So this stone or this shell to me reminds me of almost like a worry stone. So if you've been feeling called to get a worry stone, I feel like this is confirmation for you. This could also be a message if you feel like, you know, playing with something in your hands. I feel like this could be very calming for you. And it's almost like allowing you to release energy that's no longer serving you. That's specifically coming through. We're going to go ahead and look at your water scrying. So I've already cleaned the bowl. And I feel like the mermaids are also, I feel like you could maybe have a lot of Virgo in your chart. They're saying perfection is an illusion. Perfection is an illusion. And they're being called for me to tell you that the only moment that exists is this moment. So you may be worried about future outcomes, or you may feel like you've done something wrong. That's something that's coming through. Your spirit guides and the mermaids are saying you haven't done anything wrong. Let's go ahead and look at your water. Really interesting. So when pouring your water, it's almost like I felt this feeling of release. If there's something that you've been wanting to get off your chest, maybe journaling or talking to somebody, I feel like the mermaids are encouraging this of you. It's like they were saying almost like let the floodgates open. Messages from the mermaids. I feel like they could be, I feel like the mermaids are really encouraging you to relax, to rest, to remember to rest. I feel like you could maybe have a workaholism or tend to overwork yourself or maybe burn out really easy. I feel like the mermaids are encouraging you to relax. And they're calling me to tell you the only moment that exists is this current moment. And every present moment is happening now, and now, and now. And it bleeds into the next present moment. Every present moment bleeds into the next present moment. And every present moment is a window to the next present moment. I feel like you could have some sort of new beginning around you, or you could be going through some sort of change or shift, specifically in your consciousness, specifically in the way you think about things, and also how you present yourself to the world. It's interesting because I'm seeing a door with like the crack, like the light coming through the crack, which this was kind of a similar message in pile number 1, but it's like the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm hearing the song from Snow White, I believe it is. In the beginning, she says, I'm wishing for the one I love to find me. And she's like singing into the well. You could maybe be trying to attract a relationship or a soul tribe or a community of people. I feel like the mermaids are acknowledging this. I feel like the universe is saying divine timing. But they're also saying don't give up hope and keep wishing on your dreams. Keep wishing for what it is that you want to happen. So that's interesting because I feel like it could happen, whatever you're wishing for. You just have to keep the faith. Again, it's kind of similar to pile number 1, a message of a test of faith. It's like they're saying you can do anything, you can achieve anything, you can become anything, you can be the person you want to be. You just have to hold the vision. Because the moment you give up or the moment you fail, they're saying the moment you give up is the moment you fail. There's no such thing as failure until you give up, until you stop wishing or going after what it is you want. Really interesting. And I'm seeing a flower blossoming, a flower opening. So I feel like there could be some sort of significant change that's going to happen or that's happening around you. It's like they're saying bloom. And they're also saying your success is guaranteed. So whatever it is you're trying to manifest is coming in. It just takes a little bit of time. Really interesting. I love this for you guys. Bloom. And we're in the month of May that I'm filming this. You don't have to be watching when I upload, but it's like April showers bring May flowers. And a lot of people think, thunderstorms, oh my gosh, that's scary, but it's actually beautiful. It's like the water helps the plants grow. And I'm being drawn to an image that I saw on Facebook, I think, and it was a picture of a plant. 2 different images. One, the plant had water pouring on it, and he says, I needed this. And the second one, he has the sunlight beaming down on him, and he says, I needed this. So I feel like there's a shift in perspective coming your way, or that maybe you've already been cultivating and working on changing your perspective. And your spirit guides, the mermaids, are saying only good things happen to me. And when you actually believe this to be true, you will see this in reality. Even when challenge comes your way and you truly believe only good things happen to me, that's what you will see. Because everything is happening for a reason. Really interesting. I feel like you could be going through some sort of spiritual awakening. And coming to a certain understanding about how things work. Really interesting. I'm seeing a balloon. So something about your inner child could maybe be trying to connect with you or communicate with you. I feel like the mermaids are asking, what do you want? Because you can have it. Whatever it is you want, you can have it. You just have to hold the vision and keep taking steps toward it. Really interesting. I feel like you could be really into watching motivational videos. Or you could be watching a lot of motivational videos right now. We're going to go ahead and look at your oracle cards. Put that over there. Let's put your shell over here. Let's see. So we have Evil Queen, you deserve sugar, not salt, with the number 2. Evil Queen, you deserve sugar, not salt. Really interesting because I had mentioned Snow White, and when you think about only good things happen to me, in the beginning, she lost her way, she got lost in the woods, and she got stranded in the middle of nowhere in a cabin with the dwarfs, right? And if you were to look at that from such a small perspective, you would think, oh my gosh, what bad luck. But actually good luck, because she was getting away from her evil stepmother who was actually trying to kill her. You know? And so I feel like you could maybe be having some sort of challenge or obstacle. Your spirit guides are saying you're always on the right path. And the mermaids are encouraging you to remember that the universe has your back. And I want to read this card out of the book because I feel like it could have a very valuable message. Okay, so this could also have to do with maybe a connection or a partnership. Oh, let me hold it up a little bit where you can see. So this says, someone in your life is mistreating you. You keep trying to see the good in them, but they just keep disappointing you again and again. Truth is, some people don't deserve second chances. As difficult as it may be, this is your sign that you need to cut them loose. Unfollow them and block their number. It's time to move on. Do whatever it takes to find some inner peace, for it's just as precious as gold. So only take that if that's confirmation for you. You know, I'm not telling you to, you know, break up with your significant other or leave a friend group. Obviously, that's what this card is saying. But if it's something that you've been thinking about, something that you've been questioning, I feel like that's should be used as confirmation. Let's go ahead and see what else you have. So we have Earth pulsing, pulse of the mother, slow down, time and nature. So grounding could be very helpful for you. Grounding, putting your feet on the ground, slowing down. And also, I think there could be like an earth pulsing meditation on YouTube that you could maybe look up. But I feel like the mermaids are encouraging you to spend time in nature, really grounding your energy. And they're also saying connecting with your roots. So this could also be maybe reaching out to family members, connecting with family members. Especially if there is somebody in your life who you feel is mistreating you or not treating you with respect. This is something that the mermaids are encouraging you. And also slow down. It was that message of coming back into the present moment. When we come back into the present moment, we can really get clarity on answers by really looking at what's going on around us. You know, not maybe putting on rose-colored glasses, but seeing things for how they actually are. Let's see what else we have. So we have show the world the real you. Full moon in Aquarius. So I'm getting a very specific message. If you do resonate with this, you know, person who may be mistreating you in your life, I feel like it's almost, I feel a confirmation would be with this show the world the real you. If you've been feeling called to go out and hang out with people and hang out with friends, and this person doesn't like that, I feel like that should be a sign. But with the full moon in Aquarius here, I feel like you're being asked to reach out to family, friends, your community, spending time with those people who really matter to you and who uplift you and who cheer you on is something that's coming through. Show the world the real you. I feel like there could be a part of yourself that you may not show people or maybe hide is something that's coming through. I just feel such this like fun, lighthearted energy, and I'm seeing maybe somebody who wants to say something like a joke or something, but they hold themselves back, maybe because they're afraid of how other people will perceive them. The mermaids are calling me to tell you that how you think other people judge you is how you judge yourself. And so I feel like your spirit guides, the mermaids, are really asking you to release this. What else did we have? Okay, we have the prison wave, self-sabotage, poverty consciousness with the number 31. Really interesting. And we have this image of the light back here shining on this person. It's like they could easily escape. They could easily escape this prison, but they keep choosing to be there. Really interesting. And I'm actually going to read this card out of the book for you as well. Poverty consciousness. I feel like the mermaids are really asking you to realize the abundance that you have, not only around you, but within you. Let's see what it says. So this says, here, let me hold it up. You can see the card. Are you a prisoner of worry, distrust, cynicism, and fear? Do you constantly tell yourself that there's not going to be enough, or do you see only lack and poverty wherever you look? Perhaps your expectations of negative results and repercussions serve to keep you imprisoned by your own thoughts. Do you feel that you're not allowed success in life? When the prison wave comes as your challenger, he warns you that you're now seeing in your life the results of those negative thoughts and expectations. If you don't like what you see, it's time to transform the way you see it. If you aren't happy with your life, change your thoughts. That alone has the power to change your life. Difficulties are learning curves right now. Just remember that this prison won't hold you for long. Take the time to learn about mistakes. The lessons ensure later and greater successes. Really interesting. It's time to transform the way you see it. I feel like it's that message that I was bringing through when I was looking in the water. It's like your perception is meant to change. It's meant to shift. Your perspective is meant to shift. And with that message of your thoughts, the mermaids are calling me to tell you that your thoughts create your beliefs and your beliefs create your reality. And that's why meditation is so powerful, because when you become aware of what it is you're thinking, you can then have the power to change it. And if you're constantly thinking, I can't do this, I can't be who I want to be, I can't, talk to this person, that's what you will see. You have to really get out of your own bubble, is what the mermaids are saying. They're also saying get out of your comfort zone, because I feel like this almost, it's like, it's not really comfortable being in these thoughts, but it's what you know, and what you know is comfortable. Really interesting. 31. Yeah, I feel like sitting in nature, maybe journaling, meditation, listening to your thoughts and letting them go, sitting in like a quiet meditation would be very powerful in helping you. And I feel like it may also help with this anxiety that I keep feeling, this like worrisome energy. Let's go ahead and look at your tarot cards. Spirit guides of love and light, please connect me to pile number 2. What would the mermaids like to say to pile number 2, please? They're calling me to tell you that there's people out there who will inspire you, who will lift you up, that you haven't even met yet. And so if you're worried about connecting with people or putting yourself out there, your spirit guides and the mermaids are saying don't worry, because 1, the universe has your back, and 2, there are people who are meant to be your friends who you haven't even met yet. Card flipped over, the 2 of Cups. I feel like this has to do with communication. Really communicating how you feel, talking it out, expressing your thoughts, expressing your feelings. And then we have the hummingbird here again. The hummingbird is all about being in the present moment. Be here now. The hummingbird's also about play and joy and having fun. See, we had the Hermit on the back of the deck. I'm going to keep shuffling, but the Hermit is all about introspection. Let's see. Spirit guides of love and light, what would the mermaids like to say to pile number 2, please? So when this card flipped over, it's actually the Magician. I heard, this is your life. You get to choose how you live it. You get to choose how you live it. And the Magician is all about manifestation. And they're also calling me to tell you that everything that you see in your life, the place you live, the things that are around you, your job, the people, you manifested all of it, whether consciously or unconsciously. That's why it's so important to become aware of your unconscious thought patterns, because you're always calling in things to you. And they're saying you are the creator of your life. Spirit guides of love and light. What do the mermaids want to say to pile number 2? I feel like both of these cards want to come out. So I feel like something that I'm feeling, I feel almost this restriction. Like I want to go do things, I want to go do something, but it's almost like I'm stopping myself. So you may tend to stop yourself, or you may tend to people please or do things because you think other people will like them. Your spirit guides, I feel like, are really encouraging you to treat yourself. Remember to communicate with people. I feel like communication is so important. They're saying communication is key. But also, if you want to do something, tell people, I want to do this. I want this to happen for me. And I feel like people will be more receptive than you think. And if they're not receptive, those people aren't meant to be in your life. We have the Queen of Wands. Ooh. So with the Queen of Wands coming out, the mermaids are saying your shadow is not meant to harm you. Your shadow is not meant to be suppressed or pushed down. Your shadow is actually a very powerful tool that you use whenever, you're in situations where people aren't treating you well. It's that part of you that wants to keep you safe. It's that part of you that wants to protect you, is what the mermaids are saying. And it's like, I'm being called, the mermaids are really encouraging you to stand in your power, to stand up for yourself, to be the voice for yourself. And they're like really drawing me to your voice and communication. So I feel like really talking with people, telling them how you feel, what you feel about the situation, what you want to do. And they're also saying people will perceive you how they perceive you. You can't control that. So if somebody is seeing you in a negative light, they're really telling me that it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. We have the Fool. This is all about new beginnings. We have Temperance. See if all of these cards will fit. I might need to scoot them down a little bit. The Fool. Temperance. So the Fool is all about taking a leap of faith, going after what it is you want, even if you don't know what's going to happen. And I feel like it's almost like the mermaids are really asking you to be in this happy-go-lucky energy where you're not too concerned with how other people are going to perceive you. And you're not too concerned with predicting the outcome of things, because they're saying we don't actually know what's going to happen. And with Temperance here, I feel like you're being asked to almost really focus on self-care, self-love. And they're drawing me to tell you that Temperance, I believe, is in between the devil and death. So it's almost like this oasis in the middle of tough times. And I feel like the mermaids are asking you to find this oasis within. And to really fill your own cup up and focus on your self-care and self-love at this time. Let's see, and then we had the Page of Cups. And the Hanged Man. Interesting. So, the Page of Cups is a novice. They're a beginner. but they really follow their emotions. They follow what they want to feel, and it's almost like they follow their joy as well, is something that's coming through. And they're very connected to the inner child. They're very connected to this energy of play. And I feel like that's something that was coming through with this message up here. Show the world the real you. And the mermaids are drawing me back to your childhood. They're saying you were the realest version of you when you were in childhood, before you were conditioned to be a certain way, before like the adults in your life or the people around you told you that you had to act or be a certain way. That was your most authentic version of yourself. And so really connecting with your inner child, I feel like would be very helpful. And we have the Hanged Man, which is all about, really thinking, meditating, also about changing perspective, shifting your perspective, looking at things in a different way. Interesting. And I feel they're drawing me back to this card again. There was something that I heard somebody say. It was like the law of relationship. And I looked into it and I couldn't find it anywhere. But this person basically said the law of relationship says that what is good for one person is good for the all. So if you're thinking about maybe separating yourself from a certain person and you're thinking, this isn't going to be good for them, they're going to struggle, they're like you're maybe predicting and thinking, I don't know how this person is going to feel or react. What is good for the one is good for the all. So if you're being called in a different direction, if you're being called toward a new journey, and really use this message as confirmation, your spirit guides and the mermaids are saying what is good for one is good for all. So by separating yourself from this person, it's almost like this person will also learn the lesson that they need to learn as well. Really interesting. I feel like relationships in general have a very big theme around this reading. But you have the Fool right in the middle of all of these cards. And the Fool is card 0, it's the cosmic egg. It's the energy of beginnings, of newness, of taking that step even if you don't know where you're going. And they're also being drawn to, I'm seeing a car, somebody driving a car forward but looking in the rearview mirror. And that could be maybe something that you do. And the mermaids, your spirit guides, are really saying keep moving forward. Keep following your joy, following your passion, following your inspiration, following that feeling of love and joy and light and fun. And don't worry so much about how others perceive you. Don't worry so much about the self-limiting beliefs or the insecurities or the doubts. And the mermaids are also saying you are an amazing, beautiful person. You just have to see it for yourself. I feel like self-care, self-love is something that's being very highlighted here with the Temperance card. Finding balance, maybe in this chaos or in this chaotic time. You're going through some sort of really big shift. We have a lot of major arcana cards here. We have the Magician, the Fool, Temperance, and the Hanged Man here. So there is some sort of really big beginning that you may be being urged to go toward. And actually, I didn't do this for the other groups, but I want to draw an advice card for you. And I feel like using this deck. Spirit guides of love and light. Please connect me to the mermaids. Will you please get some advice and guidance for pile number 2? Okay, that was kind of a lot of cards. I only really want one. And the mermaids are saying follow your heart. Follow your heart. Will you please get one card? Advice and guidance. Okay, so your advice and guidance, soul memories and gifts, you've done this before. So if you have maybe self-doubt, the mermaids are really saying don't doubt your ability. Don't doubt yourself because you know exactly where you're going, especially your soul. If you're being called toward a certain place or a certain community or leaving a certain person or a place, your spirit guides and the mermaids are saying you've done this before. You know, your soul knows where it's going. Trust. But I feel like that's all I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow, and we would love to have you be a part of the Sailor family as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you later. Bye. Hello. If you chose this shell in pile number 3, you are a part of pile number 3. So before I get into your water scrying, there was a couple of messages that was coming through if you picked this shell. The movie Pirates of the Caribbean was standing out to me, the mermaids in those movies, so I feel like you almost have very beautiful qualities or features. That's something that's coming through, specifically siren-like eyes. But I was also getting this strange message in correlation with that. Maybe you resonate as having a past life as a pirate, or a past life as a sailor, or somebody who lived their life by the sea. I feel like this pile, more than the others, has a very strong pull to live by the ocean. That's something that's also coming through. Really interesting. We're gonna go ahead and look at your water scrying messages. So I feel this very like jovial, like happy, fun type energy with this pile. Very different from pile number 2, I will say. I was hearing the SpongeBob intro song, and I just heard a ding. I feel like there could be messages in the SpongeBob movie for you. I think, isn't there a mermaid in that movie as well? I'm trying to think. I just feel this like lighthearted energy, and I just see like people dancing on a ship saying like yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, and I just feel this very like lighthearted, playful energy with this group. I do feel this almost like fairy, airy type energy with this pile as well, so you could resonate with being my fairy pile if you've watched some of my other readings. But it's just this like fun, playful, almost kind of like mischievous energy that's coming through. I'm also, I feel like there's something to do here with a story or a song. If you're a songwriter or you've written like a story or something, I feel like this is very significant. The mermaids are highlighting this. I feel like you are a very good storyteller is something that's coming through. I feel like you're able to almost create images and pictures in people's minds with the things that you say. Really interesting. I also feel like this group, I feel like you guys are very intelligent. And I feel like you could have strong ties or maybe a past life to Atlantis. That's something that's coming through. And Atlantis, they're calling me to tell you that Atlantis was very evolved. And there was a lot of technology, a lot of technological advances. Very intelligent. Maybe you resonate with being like a scientist or something. I almost feel like you're meant to discover something. There's something that's coming through. And I keep seeing a path like splitting, like a fork in the road. So you may be at a point of indecision in your life, or you may be deciding between something. I'm also seeing the letter Y. That could be significant. And I'm seeing a whale. And whales, to me, the message from the whale is always trust. Trust in the great mystery. Really interesting. I feel like the mermaids really are bringing through this message of play and have fun, and things will unfold naturally on your path. If you're at a point where you're trying to make a decision, I feel like the mermaids are really encouraging you to follow the fun and trust in the great mystery. Trust that we don't know all the answers. We don't know what's going to happen if we take the left or the right. If there's something you're deciding between, if you take option A or option B, we don't know what's going to happen, but follow the fun is something that's really coming through. And I'm seeing the mom from The Incredibles and her like really short, like bob-like haircut. You could maybe be feeling called to cut your hair. That's something that's coming through. The mermaids are saying you would look really good with cut hair as well if you've been thinking about doing that. And I also, with the mom from The Incredibles coming through, she has the superpower of being like stretchy, elastic. And so I feel like that's a message coming through, is almost like be able to bend. Be able to bend. Be able to go with the flow and bend in any direction that you're being pulled. So if there's a feeling of rigidity in you, I feel like it could almost be a feeling of resistance. You're meant to release that and let that go. And I feel like this could be something that you are learning or may have been learning your whole life, is something that's coming through. To go with the flow, to go where the river takes you. And I feel like your spirit guides and the mermaids are saying things are speeding up. So if you've been pursuing a project or a passion, it's like I feel like you will begin to see significant progress and significant growth is something that's coming through. I feel like this also could have to do with maybe character development is what the mermaids are saying. If you've been working on releasing old limiting beliefs, old limiting thought patterns, they're saying you will see growth. Really interesting. I feel like with the letter Y coming through, I feel the mermaids are asking you to maybe ask your why it is you want to do something, why it is you're being called for a certain path. Because I feel like the why, it's almost like will help you persist when things get tough, when the going gets tough, when you encounter challenge. Remembering your why is very important. Remembering why you do the things you do. It's almost like will help you progress and will help you develop this feeling of resilience within. Really interesting. And I'm also seeing a dandelion. I feel like dandelions could be significant. I'm also hearing the song Dandelion by Ruth B. So that could be a significant song. And I feel like this has to do with almost like play. Making a wish is something that's also significant. Making a wish. I feel like you're a very powerful manifester. And something about your manifestation is being highlighted here. What is this? I feel like this is coming back to divine timing. What you want, you can have. What you want will come to you. It just takes a little bit of time. Because I'm seeing the like little pieces of the dandelion like blowing in the wind. And it's almost like it takes time to get there. I also feel like you guys could resonate with maybe being a witch as well, because I'm being drawn to the movie Practical Magic. And in the beginning, she writes out a list of all of the qualities she wants in a person. And that person does actually end up coming into her life. Really interesting. So you could maybe be trying to manifest somebody or a certain relationship. I'm also seeing divine union here as well, or a twin flame, a soulmate relationship. That's something that's coming through. Really interesting. Let's go ahead and look at your oracle cards. And I keep hearing the song Dandelions by Ruth B. She says, like, I'm in a field of dandelions, wishing on everyone that you'll be mine. Really interesting. I also, for some reason, I'm getting like a strong message of engagement. If there's somebody, or if you've been wanting to become engaged or married, that's something I feel like that may be coming in for you. Let's go ahead and look at your cards. I feel like you guys got the most cards. Let's see. So we have the Lighthouse. Don't doubt your worth. I am always enough. And I just heard the ding. If you felt drawn to another pile, I would recommend watching that pile. And then we have Clover. Release your guilt. Really interesting. And with this message of like guilt coming through, for some reason I'm getting this feeling that maybe you feel guilty whenever you're happy, when you're enjoying yourself, when you're in the energy of fun because maybe other people aren't having fun, or maybe there's something around that, like guilt about having fun or enjoying your life. Your spirit guides and the mermaids are calling me to tell you that everybody gets one life. Everybody gets the chance to make decisions and make choices. And you can't control what those people, like what choices those people make, what roads those people go down. But you can control what roads you go down. And if you want to live a life of fun and joy, and the mermaids are highly encouraging it, and to release guilt or shame around enjoying yourself is something that's coming through. And I feel like this has to do with self-worth, because we have like on this little picture she says, or it says, I am always enough. I feel like that could be a very powerful affirmation for you. And I feel like with these flames here, I feel like a burning bowl ritual could be very significant or powerful for you, writing down limiting thoughts or beliefs about yourself and burning it in a bowl. And as the smoke, blows, and as the ashes blow, you release those thoughts, you release those limiting beliefs. And the mermaids are really highlighting me to say that having fun is part of your life purpose, and enjoying yourself and being abundant as well. And it's interesting because we have the 20 and then 21 here. I'll zoom in, that way you can see 2021. It's like things are progressing. You are growing. You are moving forward. And I'm seeing a lot of movies with this pile. I saw the Pirates of the Caribbean, Practical Magic. I can't remember if there was another one. The SpongeBob movie. And then there was a movie that was coming through. What was it? Things are progressing. I can't remember. Maybe it'll come back to me. I'm drawing a blank. Well, let's go ahead and look at your other cards. So this says, Star Family, you're part of a team of souls, call in support. And I just saw 1333 on the clock timer, so that could be significant. You could be seeing 333, and we have 21, which is also 3. And then we have Hyrate, longing for home, homesick for the stars. So with this message of home coming up, I feel like the mermaids are really asking you to be at home with yourself. I just feel such this lighthearted, playful energy around you. I feel like you do have a soul tribe, or you do have community of people out there who are very similar. And the mermaids are saying they're cut from the same soul cloth as you. So the things that they like, the things that they enjoy are very similar to the things you like and the things you enjoy. And I'm also being called to say, if you've been thinking about moving, I feel like the mermaids are really encouraging you to move. And they're saying you can't heal where you've been hurt, which is really interesting. So if you live in a town where you experience a lot of abuse or a lot of pain, I feel like moving out of this town would be very significant in your journey, and you will experience a lot of growth. And I also feel like maybe your soul tribe or your, they're saying your lifelong friends or people who will really understand you and really get you will be where you move. It's interesting. Homesick for the stars. I feel like you could have maybe grown up in a family where you were very different. You could resonate with being a starseed as well, but I just feel this sense of like maybe you felt like you didn't belong, or like you were just different and you wanted different things. And that's why I feel like this release your guilt is coming up, because you are meant to have fun. You are meant to experience light and love and joy. And if there's people in your life, specifically family members, who are maybe more negative or pessimistic or always looking on the dark side of things and maybe don't ever try to uplift or encourage themselves, the mermaids are really encouraging you to release yourself from these bonds, release yourself from these feeling like you have to almost carry their burdens is something that's coming through. And it's that message that I was bringing through. It's like they get to choose how they live their life just as much as you do. Don't doubt your worth. You deserve the world. I love that. Let's see what else we have. So we have the word Lord with the number 43, another 3 here. Communication, praise, dishonesty. Writing down. I feel like writing could be very helpful. We also have bring love to the situation. I feel like writing out your manifestations is something that's being highlighted here. And really maybe doing some abundance planning. That's something that's coming through. And really focusing on writing, I feel like could be very powerful for you. And was it this group that I was saying, a storyteller? You have this storyteller energy. You have a very powerful throat chakra. And I feel like it was that message of being a witch again in the past life. It's the power of words, and it's they're calling me to tell you that that's why it's called spelling, because when we speak, we cast spells with what we say. And that's why it's very powerful to speak positively and speak, encouragement, bring love into the situation. And it's I feel like you could be called to move somewhere, or to maybe release connections, or, it's I'm seeing somebody trying to save somebody that's drowning, but the other person is also bringing them down with them, and now they're both drowning. Bring love to the situation. I feel like the mermaids are encouraging you to look at this through the lens of love. This, if you are experiencing some family drama, or maybe you try to help your family and they never listen to you, or I'm also seeing maybe somebody I feel like you could have been a witch in a past life, or you have this very witchy, eclectic type vibe about you. You could be into herbalism, you could be into manifestation, the law of attraction, crystals, tarot, divination, things like this. And there may not be people like this in your community. You may be the only person in your area who practices tarot, or who's into herbalism, or who cares about holistic healing, or somatic movement, or meditation, or mindfulness. That's something that's coming through. I feel like you could also be meant to create a community, but I feel like there are people out there who are very similar to you, who the mermaids are really urging you to find. And when you release these bonds to these people who, it's almost like you have nothing in common with them. It's and with the star family here, I feel like this could be your family members. And it's you have nothing in common with them, but you're holding on to these connections. And it's once you release these connections, I'm not saying cut off your family members or anything like that, but not focusing so much of your time and energy and attention on that, and focusing more of your time and energy and attention on building up your self-esteem and finding the community of people out there who are just like you. Really interesting that that's coming through. And I want to read this Word Lord card out of the book. Number 43. Ooh, so I feel like this is a good sign. Let's see. So, make sure you can see it. This says, the word Lord rules communication of all kinds and lets you know that positive interactions can be expected when he arrives as your ally. He only speaks with positive words and praises all he sees. He reminds you of the laws of abundance and praise. When you bless the world, it blesses you back. When you say affirming, supportive words, they carry an energy that returns to you in physical form. Remember that each one has power and will resonate into the universe, seeking its reflection in manifestation form. Your body responds to praise, as does everything in the world around you. Praise it for its inherent health and beauty. Applaud yourself for everything you do, as even the tiniest accomplishments are important. Praise your bills. Give thanks for the services you enjoy, and watch the ability to pay them increase as you align with Spirit's increasing power. This is also a time to remember the powerful practice of affirmations. Write them down and speak them aloud as a spiritual exercise. Say it is so, and it will be. It's a very auspicious sign when the word Lord chooses to be your ally. Wow. So you do have a very powerful voice. And with this bring love to the situation, the mermaids are really encouraging you to speak with praise, speak with love, recognize your health, recognize your beauty, and affirm it. And they have that message here, don't doubt your worth. You are worthy. You are valuable because you exist. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to become anybody to know that you are valuable. You are meant to be here. So we're going to go ahead and look at your tarot cards. And with this like Aquarius energy here, I feel like you have this very like cool energy about you. Like you carry yourself with this like cool air, like this eclectic vibe. I feel like people would love to be your friend. And I'm seeing somebody who has piercing, tattoos, colored hair. Really interesting. I feel like you're very intriguing. Let's see. Spirit guides of love and light, please connect me to the mermaids for pile number 3. What would the mermaids like to say to pile number 3, please? Okay. What would the mermaids like to say? So I just saw 22:33 on the clock timer, so that could be significant. We have the 7 of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is all about abundance. You know, she has the rabbit here. This is all about fertility, abundance, being lucky, receiving, you know, abundance. This could be monetary abundance. This could be emotional abundance. I feel like gratitude is something that the mermaids are really encouraging you to practice, really focusing on the things you have to be grateful for. It's like when you focus on what you have to be grateful for, it attracts more to be grateful for. The 7 of Wands. Really interesting. And this, to me, I feel like with the 7 of Wands here, this is all about like almost like petty arguments, or, you know, I'm also getting this message of like people trying to take you off of your high horse is something that's coming through, or maybe people trying to belittle you or degrade you or say that you're not enough or valuable. I need a clarifier for that. Why is the 7 of Wands here, please? Oh. So we had 2 cards, we had a bunch of cards flip out actually. I'm going to put them back, and if they're meant to come out, they'll come out again. Sorry about that, my camera battery died. I'm going to shuffle these. And we're going to get a clarifier for the 7 of Wands. Why is the 7 of Wands? Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords in reverse coming out to clarify the 7 of Swords. So I feel like this has to do with clarity. Interesting, because you whenever I was looking into the water, I actually saw a fork in a road, a splitting. I feel like you're being urged to trust your intuition and trust your voice. And I feel like really sitting in meditation and listening to what your voice sounds like, because I feel like you could have a lot of people like whispering in your ear or telling you this is what you should do, this is what you should be, this is who what you should be like. And I feel like it could become very confusing for you when it comes to who you actually want to be, what you actually want to do, what you actually want to become. And so with the Seven of Wands here and the Ace of Swords in reverse, this to me is saying like a lack of clarity. I feel like the mermaids are really encouraging you to gain clarity. How does pile number 3 gain clarity? I feel like it's that message of the feeling, following the feeling. Also, it's that message of trust again. If there's something that other people are telling you not to do, your spirit guides and the mermaids are really asking you to trust and release fear, release guilt. Because I also feel like the guilt and the fear could be confusing you, especially when you feel the fear and it almost brings a feeling of like resonating within your body. I feel like doing like an I trust meditation on YouTube would be very powerful for you and very helpful. And also really just coming into your power and recognizing your own worth, that you are valuable and what you want to do is just as valuable as what other people want to do, what other people think they should do with their lives. That's their lives, and your life is just as valuable. Let's see. And it's like that message I was getting about having fun. It's like, I feel like one of your life purposes is to have fun. And so if you have really strict parents or people who say, you know, you need to get a degree and be a doctor and that kind of thing, and it just doesn't resonate with you, it's not going to make you happy. You know, your spirit guides and the mermaids are really asking you to follow that sense of fun within and do what makes you happy, do what lights you up. Spirit guides of love and light, will we please get some messages from the mermaids for pile number 3? And I'm seeing like mermaids splashing around in water and having fun and playing. I feel like connecting with people and just really lightening up, I feel like could be very helpful when it comes to deciding your path, where you want to go. Messages from the mermaids for pile 3. We have Temperance. And this card actually came out for another pile as well. And I feel it's almost the same message, practicing self-care, practicing self-love. And the Temperance card comes in between the Devil and Death. And so the Temperance card is all about this like oasis, finding this oasis within, finding this sense of balance, of peace within. I feel it could be very helpful when it comes to gaining clarity on the situation, really listening to your heart and seeing what comes up for you and trusting the messages that you receive. And if it feels like it's coming from somebody else, trust. And I feel like this really has to do with self-worth, self-esteem. Practicing affirmations was mentioned in the Word Lord. So I feel like practicing affirmations could be a form of self-care, self-love. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Lovers. And to me, this Lovers is all about, you know, the Lovers can talk about relationships, and that could be the case, but I feel like this has to do with choice. And I feel like the mermaids are really highlighting that you have the power of choice. It's your life. You get to choose which way you go. You get to choose what you pursue. You get to choose what you value. And of course we have conditions, you know, like we've been conditioned to believe and do certain things. But if it doesn't feel good and it doesn't feel like it brings you joy or happiness, you know, the mermaids are saying like, really, what's the point, you know? They're really highlighting that you're meant to have fun, you're meant to be happy, and you're meant to be playful and live in this like, almost like inner child type energy where you just want to play and explore and discover. And I feel like following that would be very helpful for you. But at this moment in time, I feel like you're being really urged to practice self-care and self-love. And really doing things that, you know, fill your cup up. But I feel like that's all I have for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow, and we would love to have you be a part of the Sailor family as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you later. Bye. Hello. If you chose pile number 4 with this shell, this is your reading. So actually, I didn't say this in the group, like whenever we were doing like picking the groups, but this shell actually has another shell in it. So you pick 2 shells in a way, but I feel like with this shell inside this other shell, I feel like it's almost, I'm getting like the message of like, you hold like a nugget of wisdom, you have like a gift or a talent or something that's meant to be shared with the world. And I'm also seeing the image of the oyster, and the oyster has the pearl within. So I feel like you have almost like a pearl within that's meant to be shared with the world. Some kind of talent or some type of skill that you're meant to share with everybody else. Really interesting. We're gonna go ahead and look at your water scrying. And then we'll get into your oracle cards. I just saw 111 on the clock timer. So that could be a significant number or a number that you're seeing. Really interesting. I also feel this message, if you've been feeling called to maybe practice or build up a skill or talent, I feel like the mermaids are encouraging this of you as well. And I'm also feeling Pisces energy with this pile. You don't have to be, but that's just kind of the energy I'm feeling. Spirit guides of love and light, please get messages from the mermaids. Pile number 4. Really interesting. I was already kind of hearing somebody maybe say, don't rock the boat. So this may be something that you think, or maybe something that somebody told you. I feel like you're meant to rock the boat. I feel like you're meant to incite change. You could also be a life path number 5, but I feel like you're meant to almost change the minds and hearts of people. And I'm hearing that song, I think it's from Encanto. And it's the song that the sister sings, you know, it's something like Hurricane of Jacarandas. And it's like, in her song, you know, she talks about how she always felt like she had to be perfect and she had to do things a certain way because that's how the grandmother wanted them done. And so she never experimented with what else she could do. And I feel like that's very significant for this pile. And I feel like the mermaids are really asking, you know, they're almost like amazed, like what else can you do? What else can you share? What else can you create? And I'm also seeing like a diamond in the rough. I feel like that's the energy that you give off. I feel like you have a lot of potential to be something. You just kind of have to polish it a little bit and almost like perfect your skills. Or like keep practicing at your skills. Really interesting. I feel like I'm seeing an infinity symbol. So number 8 could be significant for you, but I also feel this like infinite energy coming from your pile, like infinite wisdom. And the mermaids are saying you are the universe experiencing itself. So you could be very connected to spirituality. This gift or talent that you have could have to do with sharing some sort of spiritual insight or spiritual wisdom. And the mermaids are also saying nobody can do it like you do it. So there's something unique about the way you carry yourself or about the way you speak or the stories you have to share that nobody else can do it like you do it. And so I feel like you're meant to share or speak, create something in some way. I also feel this message of you're not running out of time. It's interesting because I just saw like a cigarette like burning down. And to me, I feel like that message was like, you're not running out of time. So I feel like slowing down, taking it one step at a time, and really showing up for yourself every day is something that the mermaids are encouraging of you. I'm also seeing like an airplane traveling, so there could be a trip coming up, or maybe you've been thinking about going someplace or traveling someplace. I feel like this will be very significant, and it's almost like it'll allow you to grow and learn things. I'm also seeing Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is all about higher education. So if you've been thinking about maybe going back to school, I'm also being called to tell you about Skillshare. This is not a sponsored video, but I know there's like an app or like a website called Skillshare where you can really learn how to do anything. And if you've been maybe feeling called to go on there and learn something, I feel like that's important for this group. Higher education, I feel like there's something that you're maybe encouraged to learn, and the mermaids are really encouraging you to like full send is what they're saying. Full send. And really go after what you want. Pursue your passion. Pursue your dreams. I do feel like this has to do with career, but this could also be maybe like a relationship or a person. If you've been feeling like called to maybe reach out to somebody, I feel like your spirit guides, the mermaids, are also encouraging this as well. And I feel like once you start taking steps, it's almost like the momentum will build and it will become easier to show up for yourself. I'm seeing like one of those little like water torpedoes. If you've ever like played with them in the pool, they have like, I don't know, like the way they're built, you can just like really just like barely flick them in the water, but then they'll go flying. I feel like that message is like things will speed up for you. Things will start speeding up. Things will start happening very quickly when you pursue your passion and when you pursue your goal. And I'm also seeing an arrow. So I feel like when you start taking steps in pursuing your goal, I'm also feeling like this could have to do with a business idea or building a business or something like this. When you start taking steps, it's like, I feel like you will receive a lot of confirmation that what you're doing is what you're meant to be doing. And I feel like you will receive a lot of guidance as well from your spirit guides and also from people around you. I feel like there could be people who say, you know, wow, what you're doing is really helpful, or you're really good at this. And I feel like it's almost like the feedback you receive is like confirmation that you're on the right path, is what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing a computer screen, so this could have to do with technology. Or learning something online as well as something that's coming through. Or maybe sharing what you know and like your skill online as well. I feel like the mermaids are encouraging this. Really interesting. We're going to go ahead and look at your oracle cards. I'm going to put your water over here. And I just, like when I touched this water, it felt very cold. And so I feel like that's a message from the mermaids that whatever it is you're doing or whatever it is you're trying to create is very refreshing. It's very refreshing because it's like nobody can do what you do. Let's go ahead and look at your oracle cards. Okay, so we have gold. You don't need someone else to fix you. With the like crack, and she has the little seashell on her neck as well. I feel like this has to do with self-worth, self-love. You don't need someone else to fix you. I feel like the mermaids are really saying that what you have to offer is valuable in and of itself. And if you're trying to copy or do something the way somebody else is doing it, it's almost like that's not the path you're supposed to take. And also they're saying comparison, it kills creativity. I don't know why I was struggling with saying that. Comparison kills creativity. Really interesting. And then we have gold here. And gold is very valuable. It's something that people want. It's something that people go after. And I feel like whatever it is you're trying, it's like your energy is almost like very magnetizing in a way. Your energy is giving off this like diamond, gold, pearl energy, where I feel like you're becoming very magnetic to people around you. Not just in your, like the people around you in your community, but also I feel like people online is something that's also coming through. And your energy is just very magnetic, where people want to know what you have to say. People want to see what you're doing. Really interesting. I also feel like you could be going through some sort of glow up as well. Let's see what else we have. So we have double mission. Lightworker Starseed, serve the world by being you. And this person has like the gold on their lips and the gold on their eyes. Oh, I love this. And that's so beautiful too. And it's very creative as well. I feel like you are very creative by nature. And it's like, you know, you don't see people every day walking around with like gold lipstick and gold eyeshadow, but it's beautiful. It's absolutely magnetizing, and people will want to like copy it and do what they're doing. Oh, I'm sorry if you can hear that. My dog is crying down here. And then we have the Shadow Queen. And I want to read this card from the book. Acquiring knowledge, insecurity, manipulation, number 16. Actually feel, I'm going to move this up a little bit. And I'm actually, let's see what else we have. Okay, we have step out of your comfort zone, North Node. This is all about your purpose. This is all about your destiny. This is all about where you're meant to be going. Step out of your comfort zone. I feel like if you intuitively selected this pile, you have double mission here. Serve the world by being you. You're meant to show your talents to the world. I feel like looking at maybe where your North Node is in your chart could be very helpful. But with this message of step out of your comfort zone, it's like, I feel like the only thing stopping you is yourself. The only thing stopping you from getting what you want is yourself. What else did we have? Full moon in Aries, a fiery climax approaches. Interesting. And with the Aries energy here, this is like very go-getter energy. It's cardinal energy and it's cardinal fire. You know, it's the trailblazer. It's paving a path, going down a road where nobody else has gone before. Really interesting. Step out of your comfort zone. This is what the mermaids are encouraging you to do. You are beautiful inherently. You are valuable inherently. And the things you have learned, it's almost like I'm getting this teacher type energy as well, where it's like what you have learned could be helpful for someone else on their path. But you may stop yourself from sharing because you maybe have a fear or an insecurity, or like you can't share because it's not going to be well received. Your spirit guides and the mermaids are asking you to shed these limiting beliefs and go out there, step out of your comfort zone. It's interesting because we think about the comfort zone. It's comfortable. You know, we don't want to step out of it because it makes us feel safe. But I feel like there could be a part of your ego that may be trying to keep you safe, but it's only holding you back. And the number 9 here, this is the number of completion. It's like you're done with a phase in your life. You've completed something, you finished something, and you're meant to move on to this next phase. And I do feel like it has to do with your career. Let's go ahead and read the Shadow Queen, number 19 out of the book. Oh, number 16, I'm sorry. Okay, so go ahead and I'll fix them in just a second. I want to hold this up, that way you can see it. Okay. The Shadow Queen. The Shadow Queen tells you that too many of the details hidden behind your circumstances prevent you from moving forward quickly at this time. She has come with a lantern to help shed light on what is concealed within you or your situation. This is the time to wait for more to be revealed. Perhaps you lack clarity and the knowledge of how to proceed with the subject of your inquiry. It's time to educate yourself a little more about your intention and then put that information to work for you. The Shadow Queen asks that you dig deep to gain strength and that you have the courage to ask someone in the know to shed light on your circumstances. She promises to send that person to you. Beware of moving too quickly in the dark, as you will likely trip and fall and have to start again. Interesting. So I feel like you're being called to slow down, but with that message of sending somebody to you, I feel like you could maybe receive some sort of mentor. And I was bringing up that like message of Skillshare and the Sagittarius energy of higher education. And I feel like that was confirmation here. If you've been feeling called to learn about something or gain more knowledge on it, I feel like it will help you gain clarity on the situation as well. And it'll almost like be the guiding light for you in the shadow, in the darkness. And I also feel this message of like a knight in shining armor. I feel like the mermaids and your spirit guides are saying that you are your own knight. You are meant to save yourself. You are meant to bring yourself out of this situation. There's nobody else out there who can do what you do. And it's interesting because they're saying if there was, I feel like you wouldn't even want to receive their guidance because it wouldn't be as helpful as if you were to help yourself out of this situation. I want to read 36 out of the book for you as well. Okay, so this says, let's zoom in a little bit. This says, someone is trying to convince you that you're broken beyond repair, unless you accept their helping hand, of course. If someone offers to fix some part of you, it's not because they're being selfless or kind. They know that you're in a vulnerable place, and they want to make you entirely dependent on them. Tell them, no thank you. You know exactly how to put the gold in your own cracks. Wow, and that's kind of what I was saying. It's like that knight in shining armor. It's like you don't need anybody to fix you. You can fix exactly what needs to be fixed yourself. Really interesting. I feel like you know what this is about. I feel like you know what this is talking about. And it's almost, I feel like I'm kind of going in circles and like I feel like I don't really have to explain too much to you because I feel like you already know what this is dealing with. And you already know what this is talking about. I feel like you could have been receiving signs, synchronicities, guidance, and taking steps toward a certain goal or taking steps in a certain way. A fiery climax approaches. With the Aries energy here. I'm actually going to read this card out of the book for you as well because I feel like it's interesting because I'm getting this feeling of almost like I don't know what to say. And I feel like you could maybe struggle with this where it's like you feel like you don't have the right words to say or somebody else could say them better. And I feel like your spirit guides, the mermaids, are asking you to trust that you know where you're going. But I'm still going to read it out of the book because I want to see exactly. Okay, so this says, it's time to see if you've been a little too much me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants, but you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have. If you know deep down that you've been a little rash or harsh, gone too fast, or overstepped the mark, then accept that on some level you've created the situation yourself, which means you can create your way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming and it could be fiery. This says, being assertive is good, just don't ride roughshod over anyone. If you're in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. I feel like you will receive messages, you will receive clarity around what it is you're trying to figure out. You just have to keep taking steps in that direction, and the answers will come to you. I feel like this pile, more than the others, could be the type of people who really want to know things before they take action or before they take a step in a certain direction. And the mermaids are saying what you need to know will be revealed to you when it needs to be revealed to you in divine timing. And so really taking everything one step at a time and coming back into the present moment. I feel like you had that message a couple of times about really slowing down and not getting too ahead of yourself. Because it was that message in the Shadow Queen. When you get too ahead of yourself, you can trip and fall. So let this guiding light guide you and show you. I'm seeing a car driving at night. It's like the headlights show you only so far out. You can't see further than your headlights, but you trust that the road will take you there. And you keep driving, and you continue to see only I think it's like 6 feet or something in front of you. It's like, that's all you need. All you need is that 6 feet in front of you. All you need is to know what step you're going to take next. Not like the 30 steps that you should be taking, but the next step. What is your next step? Is what the mermaids are really saying. I'm going to go ahead and look at your tarot cards. I'm hearing that song Slow Down, or Vienna by Billy Joel. He says, slow down, you're doing fine. You can't be everything you want to be before your time. Although it's so romantic on the borderline tonight. And it's interesting, that message of it's so romantic. It's like you may tend to see things with rose-colored glasses, or think that the grass is greener on the other side, or that people have it more figured out than you. Your spirit guides and the mermaids are saying everybody is on their own path. Everybody is just as confused and just as lost as you. Nobody knows what they're doing. And it's funny when we think about it like that, because there's a lot of people out there who pretend like they know what they're doing. And that can help with confidence, and that can help with self-esteem. But nobody actually knows what they're doing. We don't even know why we're here. You know? And so your spirit guides and the mermaids are really asking you to take it one step at a time. And you know what you're supposed to be doing. You know the direction you want to go. Just be you. Just be yourself. Let's see. Spirit guides of love and light. May I please get messages from the mermaids? What would the mermaids like to say to pile number 4, please? I'm being shown, there could be messages in the Little Mermaid for you. Specifically when it comes to mermaids, the mermaid that's coming through is the Little Mermaid. And it's like the mermaids are saying obstacles are detours in the right direction. Because when we think about, she really wanted to meet Prince Eric. She really wanted to live with the people. And the only path she saw to get there was to giving her voice away, because her father wasn't going to let her go. And so it was very tragic, she had to give her voice away, but it's the path that she had to take, one step at a time, take the next right action. And even though, that move, some people might have been like, why would you do that? Why would you give your voice away to the sea witch? Don't do it. Don't sign the contract. She had to. And even though she went down that path, everything worked out in the end. And I feel like your spirit guides are saying, only good things happen to me. Everything is working out exactly as it's supposed to be working out. in your highest good, in your best favor. I'm going to take a sip of water really quick. Can we please get messages from the mermaids for pile number 4, please? Get messages from the mermaids. Okay. So we had the Magician come out in reverse. And then we had the Page of Pentacles come out. We have the imagery of the monkey here twice. I feel like the mermaids are really saying slow and steady. Actually, I have to cover this up really quick. Slow and steady wins the race. Keep taking steps towards the goal or the career or the dream that you envision for yourself. And with the monkey here, I'm getting the message of like, don't let your monkey mind tell you which way to go. You are in control. You have the power. And with the Magician coming up in reverse, it's like, if there's something that you really, 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 really want and it's not working out, you're meant to move in a different direction. You're meant to try something else. Really interesting. And we have the infinity symbol above his head again, which is, I feel like your spirit guides and the mermaids are saying you have all the answers. You have all the answers. Everything that you're seeking, you have. It exists within you. What you're trying to find out or what you're trying to figure out, you hold the answer to. Let's go ahead and get more cards. Can you please get messages from the mermaids? For pile number 4. I feel like you're being really encouraged to get grounded and centered. You know, with the way the cards were behaving, it was very chaotic. It was almost like butting of heads. I feel like you may have tendencies to be stubborn. That's something that's coming through. I feel like you're being encouraged to go with the flow as well. We have the Lovers that came out. We have the Queen of Wands. I feel like shadow work could be very helpful for you, very beneficial for you. If there's some insecurity around the thing that you're trying to pursue, I feel like it's almost like you're being asked to take a step back, to pause and rethink, why are you feeling insecure? What is it that somebody else has, or what feeling that you're chasing that you're not getting? What is coming up for you when it comes to your shadow? How you're being triggered? And I feel like you could maybe be like, well, these other people have these things that I want. And you can have those things, but you're coming up against a wall because it's almost like you're blocking yourself. Because of these feelings of maybe resentment. I'm also feeling a little bit of like jealousy that's coming through. And the Lovers here is all about choice. It's all about making a decision. And I feel like there's a lot of messages coming through for this pile, so I feel like maybe a lot of you picked pile number 4, or it's going to be different for everybody. So that's why I feel like your spirit guides and the mermaids are really asking you to get in touch with yourself. There's nothing that I can say to you that you don't already know. And you get to choose which path you take. You get to choose how you feel in every situation. If you attach your identity to certain feelings, or if you choose to let those feelings go. And then we have the Two of Swords in reverse on the back of the deck. Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is all about indecision, feeling like you don't know which way to go. And with it being in reversed, I feel like you're being asked to go within. What is it within you that's making you feel undecisive? What is it within you that's making you feel like somebody else has it better than you? Really interesting. The Lovers. I feel like your spirit guides and the mermaids are really asking you to follow what feels good for you. Even if it takes you down dark, shadowy paths, even if you feel lost, even if you feel like you don't know which way to go, finding what feels good for you and following that good feeling will lead you ultimately to what it is you want to achieve. It's that message of the Little Mermaid. You know, she had to meet the sea witch and go through those scary dark things in order to find the love of her life. And that could be maybe you're searching for a person. I do feel like this is a career though. But I feel like the mermaids are really highlighting your power of choice. You make the decisions in your life. You run the show. You decide where you go and how you feel about where it is you're going. Really interesting. I feel like that's all I have for you, pile number 4. I'm so sorry, pile number 4. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow, and we would love to have you be a part of the Sailor family as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you later. Bye.